everyone, this is Marin, and you're listening to Homeschool Unrefined, the podcast where we keep homeschool simple, real, and fun.
And this is Angela. You've got episode 100, where we celebrate. We're going to get to that in a couple minutes. First, we just wanted to say hello, everybody. Welcome to Homeschool Unrefined. We're so glad you're here and that you come back every week. Special hello to our Patreon supporters. If you are interested in getting extra episodes and a community of people, we would love it if you'd go to patreon.com/homeschoolunrefined. And we have a new patron this week, Jenny.
Right.
Jenny. Welcome, Jenny.
Welcome, Jenny.
Yeah.
Thanks for being joining Patreon on our 100th episode week.
Yeah.
So exciting.
Yeah. So, today's our 100th episode.
Yay!
Super exciting. We've been waiting for this.
I know. We're here.
We're here. We made it.
Yay! So exciting. I mean, really, it's been a busy 2 years for us.
It has.
And so much has changed. I mean, we've really grown so much in not just our podcasting, but homeschooling.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
we've gotten to know so many of you listeners, and that has really been the biggest joy for us, really.
Oh, gosh. Yes. Gosh, I feel like my life just expanded in the last 2 years. Just like all the people I've met and just this community. I'm just really grateful.
I'm just going to be honest. This is like the first time, and I know a lot of people have online friends.
Yeah.
This is the first time that I've really had real online friends.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
I mean, and I think it's just because I feel very, very bonded to people who homeschool kind of, in the same sort of way and have that same kind of outlook on learning and just, having a lifestyle of, learning. And so I'm so thankful to get to know each one of you.
Yes.
It's been really a gift for me.
Yes.
For both of us, I think. So, yeah.
For sure. Yeah. So today we're going to do a little bit of reflecting. And we're going to hear from some of our listeners, which is exciting.
Yay.
Hear their reflections.
Yeah.
We are going to talk a little bit about personality types. Just a little bit.
We have to.
Yeah.
We had to bring that out for the 100th episode.
Yep. And we are also going to give away some swag at the end. I mean, we're going to tell you how we're going to give away the swag at the end. So you want to stay for that for sure?
Yes.
And for our LTWs this week, we are going to choose our favorite LTWs of the past 2 years, of our own and each other's, which is exciting. And we're going to tell you about ours that we are not loving anymore.
Yeah. So cliffhanger.
No longer an LTW.
Yeah.
So you'll want to stay for that.
Sometimes they don't last.
Right.
All right. So maybe we should start out by just talking about how our process and how we made the podcast and how we've gotten to this point so far.
Yeah. Okay. So, we started this 2 years ago with no previous experience.
Obviously, if you listen.
Yes.
Back.
Yes. If you've been with us since the beginning, bless you.
You are a saint.
So no previous experience, no online presence.
Nope. No, there's a special score, online score, where if you're super influential online, you can have a big number. We had it probably a 0.
Oh yeah.
On that.
Oh yeah.
We didn't do anything.
I did have a Facebook account. That's it.
Okay. Got a few points.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know.
So what was I remember the day that we put our first 3 episodes out together. We released our first 3 episodes. Do you remember where we were?
Oh, where?
Yeah, you don't remember? We were at Homeschool Fayed. The morning they went live.
Okay.
And we were like, we have to tell our Facebook friends.
I mean,
about this.
It was the only friends.
It was the only
people we knew to tell.
People we could tell. So that was just so, we felt so vulnerable.
Yeah. So the first week, it was like our friends were listening, and that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, just our in real life friends and family to support us, which was so nice. So nice.
And, you know, like random friends of friends from high school, or your probably your aunt's neighbor and stuff like that.
Yeah, totally.
And I'm sure there's still a lot of closeted people who haven't told us that they're listening. So
oh gosh,
hello to you.
Yes. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
All of you.
So anyway,
yeah.
And so since then we started an Instagram account, and we started like finding friends there, and that was great. And we reached out to some people and you know, like consistently just had to put ourselves out there, and it's been amazing when you do that, what you get back in return.
Totally.
People are amazing.
People are amazing. And if you find like you put yourself out there and maybe just reach out to a handful of people, and then you find the people who reach out back to you, like those are probably your people. Yeah. Because they think you're cool and you think they're cool. And it's just magical, I think. I just have to say, though, like, before we even started the podcast, I was just going to back up a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Before we even started the podcast, we were, thinking we were not finding what we needed for, like, emotional and even logistical kind of support as homeschool parents, right? Like, we were like, oh, my goodness. I mean, there are so many great podcasts and so many great homeschool resources, and yet what we wanted to hear every week was, you're doing enough. You're great. We needed a pep talk. Yeah. We needed to feel like connected, really connected, like with friends or whatever. And so we kind of just thought maybe this would be a good outlet for us as homeschool parents to do.
Yeah, if we're looking for that, probably other people are too.
Probably other people are too, and I think people were. Yeah. People are, still are. So, I'm so thankful to do that. To do that for people. We really want that.
So then, in the past year, what's been really great is we've really kind of defined who we are as a podcast.
Yes,
and
definitely.
And that has really driven all the types of episodes that we're doing.
Yes.
And so we are going to actually talk about that later in the show, kind of, our mission and what we're trying to do.
Right.
Yep. But it has actually been so exciting, I guess is the right word, to be knowing that we have this common goal. You and I have a common goal, and that every episode is working towards that goal. And
Right. And it's so interesting because I think early on we thought of some new ideas for episodes, and we thought, well, we're never going to be able to, are we going to be able to sustain all these ideas or whatever? But I just feel like there's always more to talk about. And a lot of times it hinges on one idea, and we could, come up with tons of topics just on, one general idea, because number one, you and I need to hear the same message over and over again in a different way.
Yep.
And so do we all, probably.
Yep.
And so we have found that, like, saying the same message in different ways on different episodes makes it even more meaningful, and we can go deeper into those messages and really dive into, like, the meaning behind them. Even I just feel like it's become more, I don't know if I want to say tangible, but that's what it feels. It feels much more tangible and real the more we talk about these ideas.
Right. All right. So if you'll indulge us just a little bit longer, we just want to do a quick reflection on how we've changed in the last couple of years as homeschoolers. Yeah. Not necessarily as a podcast, but as homeschoolers, because so much, I've grown and changed so much. And definitely. I know Maren has too. And so I'd love to hear, Maren, from you.
Yeah.
What is different for you now?
Well, I think kind of like our podcast, I feel like a lot of my ideas have become more tangible in that we're living out these things that always thought were true in my mind. And I think the more I practice these ideas, the more I really even believe that they work too. You know, like slowing down academically, especially. We've done that quite a bit. Like I have changed my expectations so much academically. I have, I've also really tried to listen to my kids more about what they need. And we've worked so hard on having them understand what they need and how they need to learn. And so we can have more conversations about that kind of stuff. So I feel like it's more natural. I mean, all that kind of stuff just makes it more of a natural learning process instead of like a formal, you know, teacher student kind of relationship. It's more of just like a natural learning environment.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
Which is awesome.
That's so great.
Yeah.
I feel like you've always been that way. I cannot remember you
oh my gosh.
ever being like really formal.
Well, you know, okay, so here's the thing. I think I naturally am a natural learner. Right. You know, or a natural teacher too, in a way, you know, like where I like to have things done in a very natural way, but I get very, you know, I can easily feel pressure doing it in a more formal way. And when my kids were younger, I felt a lot more pressure to do that because I didn't really realize the benefits of just real natural learning.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until they got older. You know, once you see results, then you're like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. And this is definitely the way it should be.
Right. So, yeah.
But yeah. How about you? What do you think has changed?
Well, I feel like I've sort of found my groove in the last couple of years.
Nice.
Where like, oh, I like the way this is going. We have a nice rhythm and routine. But as soon as I've done that now my kids are changing. You know, they're getting older.
As soon as you find a groove, that's when things change.
I mean, I've heard that. And now I'm really living that out. Because I would prefer to just stay doing what we're doing. If they could just stay these ages.
Yeah.
And and be okay with what I want to do. That would be great.
Yeah.
But now I'm having to adapt more to them.
Definitely.
Which is challenging to me a little bit. But
yeah, and you know, when they're younger, you get to be the one to say, well, I think it looks like you need to do it this way or whatever. Yeah. But now as they get older, they can be like, well, no, I need it this way.
Right. Right.
With authority. Like they can be like, no, I really do.
Yeah, and I prefer like the close connected time as a family. I prefer like snuggling on the couch, like those, you know, younger years.
Yep.
And I think I'm going to grieve the loss of that when that happens. I mean, I don't know when that's going to happen, but I'm going to grieve the loss of that. So anyway, I feel like that's different from like classroom teaching, because I feel like classroom teaching, you can find your groove and then, you know, kind of stay with it for a while, you know,
for sure.
And make a few tweaks here and there. But, you know, once you get going, then you just get better and better and better at what you're doing.
Right.
And
it's the same.
Yeah. And I feel like I've gotten good at what I was doing, and now I need to adapt again, which is hard.
Yep. Oh my goodness. So true.
I feel like also I've gotten more hands off, which has been great for everybody. And I don't know if that's because my kids are getting older, or if it's just because my approach is changing and I've relaxed a little bit. I mean, I've relaxed a lot.
Probably both.
Probably both.
You think? Yeah. That's how I feel too.
So I feel like I'm more of just, you know, a guide.
Yeah. I have to tell you, like, I was just thinking about this today. My kids, two of my girls played dolls again for the first time in a long time.
Wow.
And I remember probably 2 years ago when they would play dolls, because they played every day, like all day. In my mind, it was tumultuous. Just thinking, oh my goodness, they're playing dolls. They're never going to get any work done. What am I doing? What kind of, whatever. You know, I would try not to show that to them at all. And I would let them play dolls because I I knew that was the right thing. It was good for them to do that. But now, like today, when they got out the dolls, I was like, praise hands up. I was so excited. I was like, I will do anything for you guys to just play.
To keep playing dolls.
Keep playing this all day long.
Tiptoe around them.
Please, yes.
Like, not going to say anything to you.
No. Oh, no, it's not chore time. Nope. Go ahead. Go play. I just stop the world and let them do that because it is so good.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So next, what we did was we asked our patrons if they could help us out by giving us some of their reflections on how they have changed in their homeschool. And so we have a few of those that we are going to intersperse throughout this episode. So first we are going to hear from Erin.
I think in the past year or two of homeschool, the major changes that had happened for me is, first of all, 2 years ago, I was still new to homeschool. I was only in my second year of homeschooling. And I knew that I didn't want to do school at home like I had tried the first year, but I didn't know what I wanted homeschool to look like. And the only thing I could think to do was to start trying different homeschool styles and seeing how they worked. So that year, that second year of homeschooling, and last year, my third year of homeschooling, they were really all about experimenting with different styles, trying things on, seeing how some things really didn't work and how other things really worked, how there were little parts of some styles that worked and parts of other styles that didn't work. And I feel like this year I've finally come to a point, I've kind of come into my own, and I've found that I can take these little parts of other styles that work, and I can also just have my own style, which is kind of a conglomerate of these pieces of other styles, and also just who I am and what my strengths are and my interests are. The second way that I have changed in the past year or two in my homeschooling is that I've really come to realize that the needs of my children, even if they're not academic needs, need to be a part of our homeschool. And so one thing this year that I'm doing is prioritizing social time. And, a couple years ago, I never would have made plans in a morning of a homeschool day because we needed to get the work done. Or I might cancel plans that we had in the afternoon if we didn't get our work done in the morning. And I've realized now that social time with friends, especially with homeschooling friends, is so important and key to our homeschool life, our happiness as a family. And so I'm really prioritizing that. And that's been a big change in the past year or so.
All right. Thank you, Erin. Next, we were going to talk about our favorite episodes.
Yes.
Briefly.
I know. We're going to try and make this brief.
Yep. Maren, what's one or two of your favorite episodes?
Well, I always go back to what we don't do.
Yep.
I think it's so important for us to continue to have that conversation about what we don't do.
Yes.
Because it frees us up to do all the things we really actually want to do.
For sure.
And it just brings a much fuller
life.
So
and
I love that one.
We've done a few of those.
Yes.
That was episode 23. We did one for the holidays. Oh, we should be telling people about that because we did a holiday one last year. What we don't do holiday edition,
episode
maybe?
50. Yes.
50. What we don't
50.
do holiday edition. Gosh, we got to be telling people about that. We are. We're telling you.
We're telling you right now. Here it is. It is, yes. And especially during this, this holiday season when you could be doing everything
right
all the time.
Right.
Yes.
Definitely.
How about you? What's your favorite episode?
Okay.
It's hard to pick just one.
It's hard to pick just one. So I am just reframing that to what is a favorite.
Okay.
So I have a couple of favorites. One is where Autopilot Saves the Day. I remember doing that episode because I think it was like in the 30s. I can't quite find it right now, but it was something I was using at the time, and I still do use so much, which is just putting my day on autopilot.
Oh my goodness.
It was kind of a new idea for me at the time.
Yep.
And I loved talking through that.
I remember during that episode realizing that pretty much all my day is autopilot.
But
Which
if
is
you
good.
go back and listen to that episode, it's a
Yeah.
great thing to do. Like, it's anytime. Anytime.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah,
when you're needing a
totally.
break, when you're not needing a break.
So all the time.
So, anytime. So, another favorite is where we stage an intervention.
Yes.
Because
I
I
was gonna say
remember
that one too. So
we
good.
did that one in September. It was the beginning of the year, not this year,
Oh my
last
goodness.
year. So
Yes.
September of 2017. And I remember like the school year started and I needed an intervention.
Yes.
And I was like,
Every
I bet
September, I need an intervention.
I bet everybody else does too. So I remember we scrapped what we were going to do, which I don't remember what we were going to do, but we were like, we have to talk about this.
Yep.
So
And that was so good for me personally.
yeah.
And so it was basically an intervention of like when you are in that freak out stage, when you're like, what am I even doing as a homeschool parent? Nothing is getting done. All my expectations are getting thrown out the window.
Or like it's September and we're trying to do 8 academic things in the day at the beginning of September. And why isn't it going well? Why don't my kids like this?
We're at home.
This is fun, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's listen to our next patron, Jenna, talk about her experience homeschooling over the past 2 years.
Hi, my name is Jenna and I am from Lakeville, Minnesota. I have grown and changed in my homeschool in so many ways. In the last couple of years, I have learned to slow down, to stop wearing busy as a badge of honor, and to immerse myself into raising whole persons. I have stopped comparing and competing with traditional school standards and instead have replaced them with education that goes beyond 4 walls. Grades and academic achievement language have been thrown out, and our focus now consists of cultivating a love of learning and a sense of wonder for this beautiful and fleeting life. I have stopped tiptoeing around our countercultural education style for fear of judgment and instead have fully and unapologetically embraced our homeschool, basking in the endless freedoms that it allows us. I learned that all we do is home education, whether it is following a passion of all things nature, baking a cake, working through a disagreement with a sibling, doing a new science experiment, or holding hands through tragedy and grief. It is all home education, and it is all learning. And honestly, I have grown to know that I am enough.
All right, this next part is for people who maybe are new to Homeschool and Refined, or you're kind of just wondering like what are you all about? Like what's the most important things to you as a podcast? And so we wanted to kind of just break it down to make it real simple. A few of the things that are really, really important to us, and we want to think about this every time we record an episode. Anytime we think of a topic we want to talk about, we think about these things. Number one, we want you to feel like you can do less. We don't want to add things to your plate. We want to take things off of your plate as a homeschool parent.
for sure. Yes, because I think, and I've said this before, so I think what can happen is we can look around at, because homeschooling is daunting. If you decide to take this thing on, you're like, oh gosh, what am I going to do? I'm not a teacher, or how am I going to do this? So it's really daunting, and you're really probably unsure of yourself. And so you look around and what's everybody else doing? And then you're looking at your neighbor, you're reading homeschool books, you're reading blogs, you're listening to podcasts, and all of the things start coming at you.
Yes.
And, this method works really great for this person, or this person swears by this method.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Or this expensive curriculum or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so, you start having, it's like a fire hose. All these things are like shooting at you.
Yes.
And then what can happen is, because you can't do it all, you feel unsure about what you're doing, and you can start to feel like you're not doing enough. And so what we want to do is tell you about how, no, really do less, strip it back to nothing.
Yep.
Do very little.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't
And
look at what
then-
other people are doing. Trust
Exactly.
yourself
Yeah.
that you know what's best.
Yes, and and a lot of times more is not better. You know, adding more things to your plate does not make it a better education.
And I think
Oftentimes it's less because more gets infused. You know, when you just do a few things.
and that is so
getting better.
countercultural because like even our school system,
Yes.
like when kids are not like up to grade level in math, what do?
More.
They do more.
Yes.
You know, so it is going against the culture.
Right.
It is doing something different, and you have to trust that. And that's
Mm-hmm.
really hard. That's really hard because you don't see the fruits until later.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it's really hard to do that.
Yes.
But yeah, it's giving your kids and yourself freedom.
Yes. Okay. So number 1, do less.
Yep.
Number 2, be yourself. So we really want to send that message to you. What you need is to be yourself. What your kids need is for you to be yourself.
Yeah, your kids need the best version of you.
Exactly.
They don't need you pretending to be somebody else or trying to do something that is not fit for you.
Right. And that does mean you're probably not going to hit every subject 100% of the time because you're not going to be the best at everything. You can't be the best at everything.
Yeah, and I think that also means you have to embrace who you are. And that means first you have to know who you are and what you enjoy and what works for you. And so, you know, if you like getting out on adventures, then do that. If you like being really organized, then do that.
Yes.
If you love art and love to be creative, show that to your kids. Do
Right.
that for a lot of your day. If you're really into skiing, get out there and ski with your kids.
Exactly.
You know,
Yep.
or whatever it is that makes you shine, you need to show that to your kids. Let them
Right.
see that.
Right. Which kind of this kind of works with our third big point that we wanted to share with you, which was we want you to think differently about homeschool. Think about it, you know, as a lifestyle. Think about learning as a way of life rather than, you know, filling in or checking off boxes or, you know, compartmentalizing it as part of your day. You know, learning happens all the time. So if you, like Angela said, if you love skiing and you want to bring your kids out to the ski slope every day, guess what? They are going to learn so much skiing.
Yeah.
Because learning is a lifestyle, and whatever you do in your life, it's, you know, it is learning. It's learning. And we want you to think and notice all the learning that is happening all the time.
Yes. Yes. That's great. I love that.
So I think we just want to hit those 3 things home. Do less, be yourself, think differently about homeschool. And we try to do that in every episode. And we are getting better at that as we go along. And at our 100th episode, I think like we're kind of finding our stride. And I'm so excited to do more of sending that message out there.
For sure. Definitely.
So cannot wait.
All right. We have our
Nope.
next listener recording from Vanessa.
Hi, this is Vanessa from North Carolina. And my biggest changes in homeschooling, probably for the past 1 to 2 years, is kind of coming to terms with the evolution of my homeschool, moving from an elementary based, like younger kids, and now having, a teen and 2 tweens, and having to really, kind of put aside my desires for what I thought our homeschool would look like and look at what it needs to look like with my kids being the ages that they are and their personalities, and also recognizing what my personality is and kind of trying to mesh that all into some sort of beautiful, messy, day-to-day homeschool that really is just sort of like life school, and hoping that, we can learn from mistakes that we're making and also celebrate the awesome achievements that we're making. And I don't mean like,
big, huge achievements, but just the daily, day-to-day interactions, the relationships, the recognizing when we're failing at something and changing things up to make it fit someone's, a kid's personality better or their learning abilities. And really also taking the time to, kind of quote unquote school myself in some things. And really, I'm learning alongside with my kids in so many ways. So that's really been a huge thing for us the past 1 to 2 years. And it's hard and it's crazy and it's fun. And I'm just really blessed that I'm getting to do this with my kids.
All right. Next, we wanted to talk a little bit about personalities.
Because we love personalities.
Because we love it. So we're being our true, authentic selves.
True.
But also it's a part of being yourself. So we feel like in order to be yourself to your kids and just in your life, you should know yourself.
Yeah.
And you don't have to know yourself in the way that we like to know ourselves, which is through personality tests.
Right.
But in whatever way that is, you should try and figure out who you are, what makes you tick, why you work the way you do, because it can help your relationships and just help you to show up better in your life.
Yeah. And I have to say, I feel like homeschooling has been a very, very much a learning process for myself, like learning who I am as a person.
Yeah.
I feel like I've grown so much as a person homeschooling. And it's because I've been forced to figure out how I'm going to function best as a homeschool parent.
Yeah.
And I kind of had to learn to embrace who I am because, okay, for example, on the Myers-Briggs, I am an ENFP. If you know about Myers-Briggs, you will know that means like I'm very creative. I'm not a big planner. I like to be spontaneous. And these are things that maybe, I think are not always super valued.
Yeah.
And maybe like a teacher role always or something like that. So I feel like when I started homeschooling, I thought I'm going to have to really step it up in these other areas that I'm not good at, which is true. We all have to do things we don't want to do sometimes or we're not great at. But that doesn't mean I have to spend my whole day doing those things that I don't like to do.
For sure. Do you feel like you want to be doing more of the things that you are good at, like being spontaneous and creative?
Yeah. Yes.
That's been helpful.
Yeah. And that is definitely a journey. It's not something I think I'll ever feel like, yeah, I'm really nailing this. I want to do that more. I want to do that more.
Yeah. Right.
Right. And we definitely have to take into consideration what my kids' personalities are too. And, and so it's definitely a give and take there. But I do feel like when I am doing those things, when I am taking into consideration the things I love to do and the person that I am, it just, everyone else in the family is so much happier.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we all should be doing that with ourselves, our kids, our spouses. I don't know. I feel like the more I know each of my family members,
yes,
the easier it is to not get offended when they do things the way they do them.
Yep.
Yeah. Definitely. And learn to live in harmony and let them do things that they like to do. And they let me do things I like to do. And to also find common ground. Just think.
Right.
Just think it's so valuable.
It is.
Yeah.
It's so valuable. It made me feel like, I can succeed at this homeschool thing, even though, I'm not going to be great at finding the best curriculum for my kids. I'm not going to be good at following through with curriculum.
Yep.
I'm great at bringing them on adventures. I'm great at having really great conversations with them.
Yep.
Finding great literature and books to read. There's just, those are the things I'm good at. So why was I trying for so long to find the right curriculum to follow? Because it's not who I am.
Yeah. I think it's natural. I think we all,
yeah.
I think we all, see things in ourselves that are maybe lacking and try to fit a mold that we're not supposed to. I mean, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying I think it's natural. We hear from a lot of people. A lot of people contact you and say, I'm an ENFP too.
That's so true.
And so all the ENFPs out there, or the ESFPs,
I know,
or the ENTPs, or whoever you are, you can do it too, for sure.
Yes.
I have to say, I'm an
ISFJ. Gonna look different, though.
Yeah, I'm an ISFJ, and you would think like I would be a more typical homeschooler, I would say, in that I tend to be more organized, although I'm not. I mean, ISFJs are organized. I don't feel like I am as much, but I know I
you are.
To you, I am. I know. But and I like to have routine, and I'm introverted, and all these things. But I feel like I'm not measuring up either, because I'm not great at being spontaneous and doing adventures, which is what you should be doing if you're homeschooling.
I know. See, we both think that we should be doing the other thing that we're not good at.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So,
but I do have to say, you know, even though that's not my style, I do enjoy doing those things once I'm out there.
Yep.
And my kids need it. Some of my kids need it.
Yeah.
And so it is important for me to stretch myself a little bit too.
Sure.
Another thing I've really learned being an introvert. Okay, being an introvert and a highly sensitive person, which we did an episode on highly sensitive person that was in the contenders for one of my favorites.
That was another good one.
Being an introvert and a highly sensitive person and a homeschooler, I've learned I need alone time. Like, I just do.
Yeah.
I need alone time. And that is tricky when you are homeschooling.
Yeah. And it's not just like a bonus if you get alone time. It is, you know.
It's a need.
It's a need.
It's a need. It's like
drinking
food.
Water.
Yeah, it's like food and water. I do need that to function best. I mean, if I don't get it, I am cranky. So I have got to put that into my day. And that is not me like being lazy or not being a good mom or
definitely
lies like that, which I used to think that. I used to think like I wasn't good enough if I needed that stuff.
Yeah.
And I just want everybody, all the other introverts to know, like, there's nothing wrong with you. You should be taking lots of time for yourself.
Yeah.
Or whatever you need. Whatever you need.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. And it has to be a priority, like as important as anything else you plan that day. If you've planned a commitment to go meet somebody somewhere at a park or whatever, you make that happen.
Yep.
You know, so like you need to make that.
Yep.
That alone time happen too.
For sure.
For sure. Yep.
All right. And so if you are interested in finding out your personality types, because maybe you don't know them or this is all new to you, a great way to find out your Myers-Briggs is 16personalities.com. You can do a test. Yep. 16personalities.com. You can do a test and
there's lots of great descriptions of each of the types
for
too.
sure. For sure. And then if you're interested in the Enneagram, which we didn't talk about today, but is probably one of our favorite.
Yeah.
Our favorite.
Oh, yeah. It's
my favorite. It's my favorite.
Okay.
I'll just say that. You can go to EnneagramInstitute.com. That's our favorite resource for that. There isn't a test for the Enneagram, which is kind of a bummer because.
Oh, I think there is, but it doesn't mean if you take the test, you're going to get high in maybe a few numbers.
Well, okay. That was like 3 years ago. The Enneagram Institute had a test. They don't
They
anymore.
don't anymore?
No.
Wow, I'm out of it.
Well, I think there are Enneagram tests you can find online, but if you get a number, don't like think that that's your number for sure, because you have to then read up on it a lot.
It's really best to just read about each number and kind of figure out which one is most like you.
Right.
Yeah,
and once you figure it out, a whole world opens up.
Oh, and then DM us and we can talk, because there's a lot to talk about for sure. We love talking Enneagram.
Yeah. All right, we're going to move on to our next listener recording. This is from Nicola.
Hi everyone, my name is Nicola and I live in Northern California. My husband and I are now in our 7th year of homeschooling with our 2 kids. Our daughter's 8th grade and our son is in 5th grade. We are accidental homeschoolers who didn't have an intention to homeschool, but when school was not a good fit for our oldest, We pulled her out and started homeschooling, and we haven't looked back. It's been a big adjustment for us and for family and friends because we do not come from a community of previous homeschoolers. We now have a homeschool community in addition to our former friends and our family, but that was a big change for everybody. In the last 2 to 3 years, some of the biggest changes in our homeschool have been letting go of some of the ways in which I thought that we should be homeschooling. My kids have some developmental and learning differences, and the way in which I was homeschooling to begin with just became very forced and frustrating. And so we simplified our rhythm. We started trying new things. We let go of some of the things that I thought were must-dos. And then we reevaluated those changes. So since then, we've been us schooling. For us, that's a mix of interests and projects and guidance from our charter school, desires that my husband and I have for our family and that our kids have, a mix of philosophies, all coming from the Waldorf roots that we've started out with. Us schooling has helped me relax. It's allowed me to have a little more confidence in myself, and it's allowed us to encourage our kids in their own interests and growing independence. And one of the things that I like most about the changes that we've made is that we can let go of intense times of academic topics so that we can put a heavy focus on the specific developmental and learning needs each of our kids has. Angela and Marin, thanks for your always honest conversations. And Vanessa, one of my tribe mamas, thanks for directing me to homeschool and refined in the first place. It's great celebrating 100 episodes with you.
All right. We are very excited to be giving away some swag for our 100th episode.
Yeah.
And we're celebrating by giving you some gifts.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoy them. We're going to do one giveaway on Instagram.
Yep.
Which is our favorite platform, really. And then one giveaway in our Facebook group, which if you are not in our Facebook group, you are going to want to join that group.
Right. So you can find us on Instagram. We're at Homeschool Unrefined. So if you don't already follow us there, you should, because then that's where you can find that giveaway. Mm-hmm. And then our Facebook group is called Unrefined Homeschoolers. And so you just request to join and you answer a question and then you can get in. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to put a post in each of those places. And if you comment on the post, then you are entered into the drawing. Mm-hmm. And then you are going to get a choice of either a mug or a t-shirt. And our swag store, TeePublic, has a lot of choices for t-shirts. They have
so look around.
Crew neck, V-neck. They have women's t-shirts.
They have tri-blend, which I'm very excited about.
But actually, I love the mugs because they say they have our logo on one side. You can get it with just the plain logo, or you can get some taglines on them too, like think differently about homeschool, or change the conversation, or simple, real fun. Yep. So you can pick if you're the winner.
The choice is yours. And if you don't win, but you still want the swag, you can just buy the swag too, which
why not?
We get a little kickback. And really all of that money just goes to producing the show.
Right.
So we do really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
All right, let's move on to Loving This Week.
LTWs. Here we go.
Yep. All right. So we're doing something a little different this time. We told you about before. First, we're going to talk about our favorite LTWs of our own.
Yep.
Should we start there?
Let's go for it. Yeah.
All right. So, Marin, what is your favorite LTW of the past 2 years?
Of the past 2 years,
or the 100 episodes?
Yes. Well, same. About. It's just been about two years. So
all of the LTWs that you've selected, you went through and looked. I'm so curious.
I know this is like such a basic one too, but it's my Kirkland signature Costco socks. Can you believe it?
Yes.
It's because I wear them every day.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't know what I would do without them.
I just bought some yesterday again. They're almost out though.
My only complaint is they need more designs.
They do. They need a few more designs. And this year's designs were a little
not the best. They're not my favorite. And I just don't think they understand how much I need these socks and how many different designs I need them in, because I don't think they understand how great these socks are. They must not.
Maybe they think like everybody's just buying one pack, but really they don't realize that people are buying several packs.
And yes, in Minnesota, we need like a good 4 packs of those.
I think they know how great they are, though, because I was in Costco yesterday and I wanted a pair for a gift.
Yes.
For somebody for Christmas, or a pack.
Very wise. Very good gift.
I know. And I couldn't find them. And so I asked, and then me and the Costco employee, she was like, I know they're here, but they are running out because there was only like a box left. And we looked for a long time, finally found them. There were only a few pairs left. I feel like Costco must know.
They have to know.
They have to know.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So that is a good one.
Mm-hmm. I know. It's like there are so many great ones, but that's just the one. That is the one I keep coming back to.
That is the one.
Yep. All right, Angela, how about you? What is your favorite LTW?
Okay, so what I did was I went through our list, like latest episode or most recent episode to the back, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. And I was like, every single one, I was like, oh, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a good one. But I'm waiting for the one to pop out at me.
Yeah.
And then it got down to episode 6, and that was the one that popped out at me.
6? Wow, way back there.
Yeah, the Popcast.
Oh.
It's a podcast, you guys. Yeah. The Popcast. I feel like I need to talk about them again. I know we've talked about them before, but if you're new or if you haven't heard us talk about it, the Popcast with Knox and Jamie saves my life every week.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, me too.
It is my favorite podcast. Comes out every Wednesday. It's funny. And homeschool parents need funny.
Yes.
They do. Yes. You need a break. You need a release. And so
you know what the bonus is too? They're great people. It makes me keep going back because I just like them as people. They're wonderful human beings.
They are. Mm-hmm. They are. So, and they do great Instagram stories, so you can get more. But okay, so I've heard a few people say, well, I tried that and I didn't really like it. I think you have to give it more than one episode try. You do. Because you do have to like kind of get a feel for their humor and the way they talk.
Yes.
The first time I tried, I didn't love it, but I was like, oh, this is okay. It was probably the second or third episode that I was like, oh yeah, I'm hooked. Yep. And I feel like it keeps getting better and better. I think I've been listening for 3 years.
I would suggest, I always like to listen to the Urban Dictionary episodes. I think that was maybe one of my first, either the first one or one of the first ones I listened to. And when I listened to that, I was hooked.
Yeah. Oh, I heard them say, I don't know on what episode, just something recently, that the nose of weddings is their most downloaded episode. That was a funny one. It was like a few months ago. Mm-hmm. Anything that's the nose of. The nose of summer, the nose of...
Because they incorporate listener stories.
And they're really funny.
They are the best.
Yeah, and then we both support them on Patreon because then you get extra content. You get extra episodes every week. So I feel like that is the best money I spend as a homeschool parent, as a person. Oh my goodness,
yes.
So, totally. All right. So, Maren, we also decided to look through each other's lists and pick our favorite LTW from each other's lists.
Yes.
So, Maren, did you look through my list?
I did.
Okay.
I love a lot of yours.
Okay.
By the way.
Okay.
But the one that I picked was your ranch dressing mix.
Oh. I forgot about that one.
It's been a favorite of mine for years.
We'll have to put it in the show notes.
Yes.
I don't use it anymore.
You don't? Yeah, I suppose you can't. Yeah.
Because I can't have all the dairy and stuff.
I mean, I rarely make it myself, but when I do, it is such a treat.
Yes.
We will the best
put
thing.
The link. It's just basically some spices, and then you can either put it in sour cream for like a dip, or you can mix it with mayo and buttermilk.
Yes.
Half and half.
For a smoother...
For like a salad dressing.
Yeah. Yep.
But with a really good sour cream as a dip, it was so good.
Man. Really good. My mouth is watering right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good.
All right. So good. We'll definitely put a link to that.
And it's great. You know what's really good about it, too, is when you make it and then you let it sit for like...
A day.
Yeah. Yes. Let all the flavors just fuse together. It's so good.
Yeah.
All right, Angela, did you look through my list?
I did.
See? Okay.
I did. And Again, it was the same thing. I was looking through it and then it popped out at me. I just knew it.
Wow.
AirPods.
Oh, yes.
Because I wear them every day. I use them every day and it has changed my life.
Seriously. I know.
Because I don't have to have my phone on me.
Yeah.
They're wireless headphones.
Yes.
They pair very easily with my phone.
Yeah.
I can listen to audiobooks or podcasts or whatever. You take one out and it stops working. It pauses and you can talk to people, or I tap twice to pause. And I just feel like it is so nice. Like before I was like, if somebody tried to talk to me, I was like, oh, hold on a minute. Digging for my stuff.
I know.
These are slick.
I know. I always feel really accomplished when when you try something that I've recommended. And I have to tell you, it's because I think that because you're a questioner. That's your personality type. Like, you're not going to just go willy-nilly buy stuff you don't know anything about.
No.
So if you try something out that I recommend and you like it, I just feel like, wow, I've really won.
Well, I think when you first told me about it, I am skeptical right away with new technology. I was like, really?
Yes.
What are these going to fall out in the toilet? Like if you bend over?
I know.
When you're cleaning
and,
the toilet?
Bluetooth used to be so hard to connect. It used to be hard to connect. It was just not even worth it.
Right.
But now it's easier.
And I feel like it does look kind of funny. I mean,
no.
They look a little dorky.
I think you did tell me the first time I had them in, you were like,
I don't know
about that.
And I mean, I still think they look a little dorky, but I don't care.
You know.
I don't care.
Agreed. All right. So, Angela, now we're going to let's talk about our LTWs that did not make it the long haul.
Right.
Do you have
our LTWs that we're no longer loving?
Yep.
Kind of no longer loving.
I mean, the thing with LTW, it's a loving this week. So we don't know if that's just what we like that week. Who knows how long it's going to last. So what didn't last for you?
Okay. I think on episode 37, I talked about my Better Homes and Gardens dinnerware set.
Oh, yeah.
I got it from jet.com.
Mm-hmm.
I loved them because they are multicolored.
Yes.
And I wanted fun colors. I needed new plates when we moved, and I wanted fun colors for plates and bowls. These things break and chip so easily.
Oh, no.
Do not buy them. If you listen to the episode 37 and you bought them, I am so sorry.
Oh, no.
Because they chip so hard. I mean, they're all chipped. And then
are they like white on the inside?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and
I don't know why I didn't learn, because they were cheap. And I need to learn. Yeah, I need to buy something good quality if I want it to last. So.
Right.
They're pretty, but
yeah.
How about you?
All right. So mine is the show that I really loved for a while called Last Man on Earth.
Oh,
yeah.
You don't love that anymore.
It's with Will Forte.
Yep.
Who I love him. And I loved the first few seasons, but I did not love it once Fred Armisen came on as a serial killer.
Oh, I was going to say. Yeah, I mean, I can see him as a serial killer. He's probably good at that.
Yeah, he was. I was like, I need more funny than like scary funny. I just didn't. I was out.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay. Yeah. So I didn't finish that show.
Okay. Well, that's okay.
Yep. It's good to know when to quit.
It is.
Yep.
All right. Our last listener reflection is from Chalet.
Hi, my name is Chalet, and I am from Northern California, about an hour north of San Francisco. And this is my third year of homeschooling my two kids. I've done a complete 180 in the last 2 years as a homeschooling parent. I was a classroom teacher for 10 years before having kids, and everyone said this would be such a blessing. It would be so easy for me to homeschool with my teaching background, and I definitely have to disagree. I've learned that our home is not school, and that's a wonderful thing. When we first started, I thought our schedule would be like school. From 8 to 9, we do morning time maybe, and then 9 to 10, we would do math, and from 10 to 11, language arts, and so on. as a classroom teacher, I was very structured and scheduled and figured I would be the same way when homeschooling. And I tried so hard in the beginning when we first started to fill our days with way too many academic things. I look back now and I'm like, what was I thinking? My son was only in first grade. I would stress out if we didn't get to math every day, or that he wasn't writing all the things down or reading the chapter books. And I eventually realized that this was not going to work at home through many tears. So listening to podcasts, reading different books, my eyes were open to the fact that home didn't lend itself to this really strict schedule, and we could be very relaxed and read a chapter book all day if we wanted to together, or have a pumpkin day where we did all the things pumpkin and then carved pumpkins at the end of the day while eating our pumpkin muffins, and that this was great and this was the learning. I also discovered Julie Bogart early on and really liked her philosophy. I see all the good things now that are happening with my kids when they're able to pursue their own interests, and then they also know their interests are really important. If you would have told me when I started out homeschooling that our days would look like they do and that I would believe my kids are learning enough, I would have never, ever believed you. I love all the changes that have happened and really work on my commitment to homeschool each and every day.
All right. Thank you, Chalet. It was great to hear from you. And it was great to hear from all of our listeners who submitted their reflections. We appreciate that so much. Thank you to all of our listeners. Mm-hmm. We are so grateful for you, and we're so grateful for this community, and we're so grateful that we've been able to do this for 100 episodes.
Yes. We are so happy to know you. We're so happy there are people out there who think the same way about homeschool as us, and it's great to lift each other up in this way. So we're thankful for all of you. And this was a fun episode.
It was.
I love reflecting. I love reflecting. And I feel like I'm ready to move forward to the next 100 episodes.
Yeah, I know. All right. Well, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram. We're at Homeschool Unrefined. We have that closed Facebook group called Unrefined Homeschoolers. We'd love to have you join us there. Mm-hmm. We also have a website, homeschoolunrefined.com, where you can find links to everything that we talked about. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening.
Homeschool Unrefined is created and produced by Maren Gorse and Angela Sizer. Ethan Miller is our editor, and Amanda Ginn is our VP of all the important things.